Hello everyone, this is Crota giving you a shoutcast between FruitDealer and Rengke here on Jungle Basin. Now, these names are in Korean. I'm pretty sure that this is FruitDealer over here, even though his name doesn't match the standard Korean name that he normally uses, but the website that I said it was FruitDealer. In fact, we also have Rengke spawning over here. I believe his name actually is Zerg Rengke, but I decided to take the Zerg off of the front just because he's a Terran player and it would confuse me even more. So Rengke spawning over here on the top left hand side of the map as the red Terran player. Meanwhile, we have FruitDealer spawning on the bottom right hand side of the map as the blue Zerg. Now, Jungle Basin, one of those maps where I would be very surprised if FruitDealer did not go for an early expansion over here on the bottom left or the center location here at the 6 o'clock location. This expansion is very much protected as there are destructible rocks here, and it takes quite some time for your opponent to even walk down this ramp and then hug along this back corner over here and try to even get into this distance and make the long trek into this location here. So yeah, I'm assuming that the FruitDealer will be going for at least a 14 hatchery. Meanwhile, it looks as though Rengke, just opening up with a standard 10 supply depot, will be getting a barracks. And now, wow, FruitDealer changing things up a little bit on me, getting an extractor and now getting the spawning pool. So wow, extractor and a 14 extractor followed by a 13 spawning pool. And now, a FruitDealer will be able to become very aggressive in this game. Zerglings across this map, it does take quite some time to run across this map. It is a little bit larger than Steppes of War, the other map in a 1v1 tile set on the jungle tile set. And so it is going to be quite far between these two locations. Also, another thing to note on this particular map is that your third base is fairly difficult to try to establish. Your third base options are either this high ground expansion here, which is exposed and in the center of the map, or this expansion over here as well, which will also offer you a little bit of additional protection from these destructible rocks. And I guess you can try to expand across the center here. There is one small ramp here, and then I believe a larger. Oh, just one small ramp there. So I believe this is actually your third expansion. So players should be trying to take that. I've always tried to take this expansion instead for some reason. Anyways, more important things to note. We do see that Rengke comes in and sees that there is not a hatchery down here. And we also see a roach warren already being placed down. So a roach warren means that it will be very aggressive play coming in from FruitDealer. So FruitDealer going to be aggressive. And now we see a second barracks now being placed down, which is a very smart call by Rengke. Rengke really needs to get those production buildings up and in a hurry. If he does not get these production buildings up, he could easily just fall behind in terms of army size, as we're likely going to see a lot of roaches coming out of here in just a moment. So yeah, now currently training up 2 more roaches, and then with that spawn larva coming out in just a second, it looks like it will be, 3 additional roaches in just a moment as well. And now those roaches will just be knocking on this front door. There is 1 marauder and 1 marine sitting here, and these Zerglings now trying to take down these tech lab, and it will not work. One of the things that the roaches can also do is the roaches can take down these backdoor rocks without without suffering any damage. Roaches now have a range of 4, so they are able to attack those rocks and not have to worry. Unlike those Zerglings, we do see another barracks down over here, and now marines also being trained up, and now a bunker being placed down. So very nice defensive play by the Terran player. The Terran player probably thought, like I did, that FruitDealer would try to do an early expansion and then get into the economic game. However, FruitDealer changing things up and now instead going for a more of an aggressive style of Zerg. So the Zerg player not trying to expand out across the map, which is normally what FruitDealer likes to do, and instead going more for a massive, very large army very early on in this game. You see that FruitDealer sitting on 700 mineral army compared to the Rengke's only 500 at this stage. And we do see a couple additional supply depots being placed down. Kind of curious as the positioning on this. Perhaps another supply depot should be placed here, making it difficult. Yeah, if any of these 2 buildings go down, even with banelings, these 2 buildings will offer a second wall of protection. So the actual best way to try to come through is to try to come in here and blast at this one location here with baneling, and you will get a splash damage across the tech lab, on this barracks, and this barracks as well. And with that much damage being dealt, it will be significant. And in come these banelings. Banelings getting some splash damage there, trying to take down these locations here, going to be able to take down that tech lab, and now no additional marauders will be trained. However, now trying to train up more and more SCVs. Zergling's going to try to run by. However, they're just going to simply get stuck. and Fruit Dealer will not be able to be nearly as aggressive as he likes. And I'm kind of curious as to why he has not sent out an Overlord into this position here. With one Overlord here, he would be able to start shooting at these Marines and perhaps dealing damage towards these barracks, as those roaches with the range of 4 are able to attack up this cliff as long as they have sight. We do see that the barracks for Rengke nearing completion. Meanwhile, Fruit Dealer has just placed down a hatchery at his natural expansion, so both players now teching further into this game, and we'll see how this all works out. SCVs being transferred from the main base to the natural expansion, and income wise we should see Rengke getting a strong economic lead in just a few seconds, as we are going to get some mules being called down over here. We once again see more roaches trying to pressure on this front door, and it looks as though Fruit Dealer doesn't quite know what to be doing in this situation. I'm kind of curious as to why this is really happening, or what is really happening. And now that I think about it, looking at their APMs, these players are not Fruit Dealer. Yeah, actually, no, it's now spamming up to 240, so perhaps it's Fruit Dealer. But it doesn't seem like the typical Fruit Dealer play that I'm accustomed to seeing from him do. We do see a queen now making its way over here to this hatchery, and we'll be able to start spawning larvae in just a second. And now it looks as though Fruit Dealer is trying to set up a stronger economic game as well. There we go. There's that spawn larva in order to continue to power drone. All the units have now retreated back home. And you can see the production-wise, only 2 Overlords currently being trained by Fruit Dealer. He's not supply locked, so I don't quite understand why he isn't trying to get into tier 2 or trying to do anything else at this stage in the game. Now going for a 3rd hatchery over here at the natural expansion. So he will be able to get a lot of larva very, very quickly, perhaps deciding to try to get more Zerglings and more roaches. So one queen will not be able to spawn larvae off of these 2 hatcheries. We do see one Overlord coming in over here. He does in fact see that there is a SCV here, and now seeing that those minerals are glowing, will know that this expansion has already been set up by Rengke. So Rengke now with a significant economic lead, 40 harvesters compared to Fruit Dealer's 33, and now I believe Fruit Dealer just needs to start power droning, otherwise he's going to fall behind very quickly. We now see the army of Marauders and Marines moving out across the map, quickly taking down one Zergling by the Zelnaga watchtower, and perhaps trying to be very, very aggressive. We do see a lot of roaches and now banelings being morphed into play. The movement upgrade has not been researched, as we are not yet at tier 2. We do see a lot of roaches now, perhaps just trying to wait. Only 4 banelings here, and I'm not quite sure how this will all work out, as one Overlord quickly getting shot down there. Zerglings and roaches will try to engage. No, those Marauders and Marines do not want to try to walk up that ramp and try to engage just quite yet. We do also see some Overlords over here, so both players just really taking their time, trying to go for more of an economic game. Combat shield, more armor research now being researched at that engineering bay. Level 1 weapons research already completed for those Marauders and those Marines. We do see taking of an additional gas over here, so Fruit Dealer needs to try to get some additional gas and perhaps try to change up his play. Either get some Infestors, get some Hydralisks, or some Mutalisks at this stage in the game, as it is just massive amounts of infantry so far coming in. Infestor is probably the better choice at this stage, as fungal growth with those banelings would be able to deal a lot of damage. You also see that he's currently sitting on a large amount of gas as well. Now getting the metabolic boost nearing completion, and also getting the movement upgrades. And these Marauders and Marines will be able to start destroying these backdoor rocks and being able to push through very, very quickly. So Marauders and Marines just moving and attacking will be able to take down these rocks. Zerglings now trying to come in over here. Zerglings getting in position. Banelings, however, no burrow research yet. So these Zerglings and Banelings will try to engage. Roaches now trying to come in. Zerglings trying to run in as well. But those Marauders with that stim able to move back and forth. No creep tumors here, so will not get any additional movement speed upgrade. Banelings just getting destroyed before they're able to even get within that splash damage there. And more Banelings trying to push in here. Will they be able to get any additional damage across? Does not look like it. One Baneling quickly getting splattered there and not being able to just suicide into those Marauders anymore. However, it looks like the reinforcements from Fruit Dealer came at just the right and most opportune time, as more and more banelings getting splashed around. Those roaches do not have that movement speed upgrade, and now those massive amounts of Marines and Marauders just using stim so much, quickly going to get taken apart there, and down they go. Most likely that stim will wear off in just a moment, and now we'll be trying to pull back there. So all these units now trying to pull back once again. We do see one Overlord quickly getting taken down there. There are now some medevacs in the air, so it looks as though Rengke now going for medevac Marine Marauder army. And now you also see FruitDealer taking a third base. So FruitDealer finally taking a third base here will be able to start mining off of additional minerals. He can thank his opponent for taking down these rocks over here. This third base is fairly exposed as well. You do have a small choke point here, but then you also have this brush over here, so there could be a two-pronged attack that comes in at the same exact time. We now see a group of Marines, Marauders, Medevacs in the air trying to move out. We also see siege tech not being researched, but some siege tanks in play. And now with this army moving out, I believe this expansion will most likely fall. Not enough units here to try to fend off this very, very large army. Stim now coming in. Roach is now trying to deal damage. Banelings do have the movement speed upgrade. Drones now being transferred over, and this hatchery should get cancelled. Not getting cancelled. They're not quite sure why. As Zerglings now trying to engage over here. Banelings now trying to roll straight into this location. However, no fungal growth, so just a very nice movement coming in. Banelings now just trying to get a surround there. Nicely done, and finishing off the rest of those Marines and those Marauders. We do see two completely full medevacs with a third medevac with a Marauder and a Marine, so that was not a complete waste and then not a complete loss. We do have a command center now flying out over here. Medevacs on the ground, Marauders and Marines also being placed down, as well as this command center looking to take this third base over here, most likely. We also see that this third base is just going to be completely ignored as we have Zerglings and Banelings on the ground. Zerglings and Banelings on the ground with roaches. Production-wise, we do see the pathogen glands currently being researched, so it looks as though infestors will be coming in just a moment. Another hatchery being laid down here. Some drones doing some long-distance mining, not quite sure why. As an Overlord still able to gain sight, that Overlord does have the movement speed upgrade, so that missile turret will be able to get off a couple quick shots, but that Overlord will be able to back off in just a second. We do see a large amount of medevacs in the air, and now 5 infestors currently being trained up. So those infestors will be able to spot a lot of infested Terrans in a very short amount of time. Infested Terrans are very cheap. They do take a little while to hatch. However, one of the benefits of infested Terrans is that they also get the natural upgrades, the Hydralisk upgrades, those and that missile upgrade as well. So now out moves this group of medevacs just now in the air. The creep killing a lot of these trees in the center of the map, and now gonna just drop straight into this base over here. This is gonna be a very bad sign indeed. However, no, we do see some infestors now making their way over. Infested Terrans, not enough energy on any of these units so far, as it was a fungal growth being able to hit across a lot of these units, trying to slow down this attack. Another fungal growth, so just chain fungal growth trying to deal so much damage here. Medevacs now in the air, just trying to finish off the rest of this. Banelings simply suiciding themselves once again, and being able to just deal so much damage into this attack group here. One siege tank down to 2 hit points. Zerglings should be able to just finish off this attack group here. However, more Zerglings just need to come in, surround these Marauders and Marines, and finish off this whole entire group here. Finally getting another fungal growth, so all those medevacs will be stuck there for quite some time, and now with those infested Terrans underneath them, we'll be able to get off perhaps 2 or 3 additional kills onto those medevacs. One of them also very low on hit points. However, now another group of Marauders and Marines coming into this position here. We do have a couple Banelings, and Zerglings trying to get a good surround. Those Banelings perhaps should have just burrowed themselves here, and if they did, now simply running to that location there. More roaches coming in from the top there, but will not be able to handle all this aggression. More Banelings trying to roll in, able to suicide themselves across more of these units. And now, however, we do see an Overlord here spawning creep, preventing this one command center being able to mine out of this location. More Zerglings trying to come in, trying to engage. We'll be able to simply surround all of these Marauders and Marines, and now this hatchery will once again be replaced down. So Zerglings doing a great job just using the movement speed, trying to be everywhere at once here on this map on Jungle Basin. And stay tuned for part 2 of this replay between FruitDealer and Rengke here on Jungle Basin.